Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with The Last of Us Part 2. If you enjoy this content, please have many babies, name them Modest Pelican Gaming, and then put them up for adoption, as this really helps spread the good word of my channel. The Last of Us, a game franchise loved by people everywhere. This sequel should be a slam dunk and oh my god, 3.6 out of 10. That's lower than my girlfriend's standards, but hey, the critics gave it 9.5 out of 10, so I'm glad to see that there isn't a disconnect between the actual players and the critics. Anyway, I load in, and of course I'll avoid any major spoilers the best I can, but I am, you know, playing the game. So I start as Joel, who's out patrolling, and I like how he's taking a guitar around with him instead of a gun. I might not be able to defend myself with bullets, but maybe I can serenade the zombies with some family-friendly Christian music. This is the city I live in, and it's a safe zone from the undead. Speaking of, I can't wait to get out there and start butchering them, as killing zombies is good fun. Just kidding, we're actually going to play the guitar. This game really makes you feel like you're a guy playing a guitar. 10 out of 10 IGN. Alright, now we're Ellie I guess, and she's sniffing her clothes. I do that too, but it's usually other people's clothes and they usually don't know I'm doing it. Also, Ellie is 19 years old now, so there's going to be a lot of inappropriate erotic fanfiction written about her. Pretty weird to think about, but at least we'll all have something to read. I go and meet up with my main girl, and as I'm chatting to her, some kid throws a snowball at me. Wow, the absolute nerve of this little malacca. How do I pull out my gun and shoot these rascals? Seriously, I think I could easily get away with it. I'd just bite their forearm afterwards and tell the rest of the town that a zombie got to them, so I had to do it before they turned. Sure, zombie apocalypses have their downsides, but child murder has never been this easy. Time to go on patrol, as we need to find Joel, he's lost. Look, I'll be the one to say it, but it's frankly pretty disgusting that they've stolen the concept of horses from Red Dead Redemption. Everyone knows Rockstar invented horses, and I think it's just blatant creative theft. It's frankly more careless than Ellie leaving her backpack slightly open. You think not properly utilizing your zip makes you cool? Why don't going forward we all just use our backpacks the way God intended and stop risking having our possessions fall out onto the ground, big girl? While searching this outpost, I find some interesting discoveries. A few parts I can use for upgrades, a spectacular view of the mountain, and oh my days. The only thing more dangerous than an infected beast trying to eat your face is marijuana. Guns don't kill people, weed kills people, instantly. I have two sisters, and growing up they used to watch this TV show called The Saddle Club. I sort of feel like I'm playing The Saddle Club, except I don't remember the episode where a moose was disemboweled so that his blood contrasted horrifically against the cold white snow. I think for its cause of death I'm going to take an educated guess and say natural causes. That's how I want to go. I decide I better test to see how Dina here reacts under pressure. So I fire my rifle inches from her head and she barely flinches. I'm glad to see I'm rolling with a truly ruthless psychopath here, but that sure was a waste of ammo, which is extremely scarce. We make our way into the supermarket, and what do we have here? Who's a hungry boy? As cute as this little famished critter is, it's time to do what we do best. Kill some zombies. Ellie is actually very good at killing, as it turns out. Initially, I was thinking it was pretty irresponsible sending two 19-year-olds out into the world with a handful of bullets between them, when there's an entire fortress full of older, more experienced people, but hey, Ellie do be kind of thick, in regards to her appetite for adventure. I find this Employee of the Month board, and in July this dog won. Imagine working hard and then your manager picks her dog over you. That's such a Karen move, trying to be humorous but instead undermining your entire workforce's confidence and feeling of self-worth. I arrive at the hardest encounter yet, an intricate stealth section featuring a much more challenging mutation of zombie known as a clicker. I decide to forego any stealth and instead show the world how truly badass I am at defeating a horde of this size with brute force. This will demonstrate that I am the alpha leader, capable of one day leading my community to victory. Just kidding, see you later esophagus. We decide to get out of here because a blizzard is rolling in, and so we slide off the roof. This again demonstrates Ellie's incredibly careless decision making, as falls like this can inflict irreversible joint damage. The blizzard only gets harsher, and then Dina rides away, leaving me stranded in the forest like I was an illegitimate, unloved child. Wow, the next time I see her, I'm going to aim my rifle directly at her head. I will get my revenge, and it will be brutal. Oh, she comes back to find me, thanks, I never doubted your loyalty. We decide to post up in this abandoned library. This actually brings back some pretty scary IRL memories for me. I once decided to have a risky fap on a library computer because my Wi-Fi was down, and let's just say the majority of librarians aren't good at seeing the funny side of things. Hopefully we can find some useful supplies in here. Some food, maybe an upgrade for my gun, hell, even a good historical fiction novel to satisfy my hunger to expand my brain. Or a giant weed farm. Damn, if our lives weren't in grave danger from aggressive zombies, not to mention the threat of desperate humans, we could totally light one up right now. Best to do the responsible thing though and stay sober. Ellie and Dina proceed to immediately get baked, which I mean just wow. Remember Joel? He loves you like a daughter, he's lost out there, but at the same time this weed is finna lit, so it's a pretty challenging ethical decision. Fast forward months later, and my lover and I decide to ride for Seattle as we need some space. Honestly, I'm starting to feel quite emotionally suffocated, and so I decide to put her down. Not the horse, Dina. The game won't let me shoot her though, which I guess is reasonable, as that would be a pretty extreme DIY plot twist. Alright then, it looks like it's back to being a brave adventurer. This actually looks incredibly cool seeing a highway like this being engulfed by nature. It offers a visionary look into what the world might look like if civilization all but stopped. We arrive at the border and there's a sign that says, "Trespassers will be killed on sight." Wow, I wasn't expecting a welcome cuddle, but that's a real emotional slap in the face. I feel like whoever wrote that sign needs to take a long hard look in the mirror and consider how their provocative graffiti messages can affect others. While exploring Seattle, we come across an old music store, which is a throwback to the old way of life. At this point, my brother-in-law came into my study and was like, "Yo, is that new zombie game I heard about?" I was like, "Yeah, check it out," but made the mistake of interacting with this guitar I found on the ground. Ellie proceeds to play the 1984 hit song Take On Me by Aha, which I mean, don't get me wrong, is an absolute banger. But come on, I'm trying to show a zombie game here, and this unskippable cutscene starts of her singing. I could see my brother-in-law getting increasingly more bored as the song went on for about 5 minutes. Eventually, he just made an excuse and left. Rest in peace, quality bro bonding time. Anyway, I need to find some fuel so we can open the gate and keep advancing. I use my advanced logical reasoning skills to determine that the fuel distribution center may have fuel. The place is infested, but fortunately I'm able to sneak by crawling through the long grass. I guess Dina didn't get the crawling memo, and quite frankly I'm heavily regretting not putting her down back at the highway. I'm forced to start shooting to save her life, and god damn it, that's my second esophagus this video. It turns out there's not even any fuel here either, which acts as a good metaphor for my life. Empty and unfulfilled. Wow, kidding, I'm actually a pretty happy guy. It's good to be optimistic, like for example here, look. I found an axe in this fire engine, so things are starting to look up for us. Maybe the local tribe isn't actually that bad and they'll welcome us with open arms. Just like they welcomed these soldiers who seem to have been lined up against a wall and shot dozens of times. I mean, it doesn't exactly scream hospitality, but in the tribe's defense, perhaps these soldiers were more annoying than Dina. Speaking of annoying Dina, she suggests we go down this spooky elevator shaft into the basement to try and find fuel. This, Dina, this is why I hate you. Not only is it dark, there's also a foot of dirty grey water, which offers yet another dilemma. Do we drink the dirty water for the benefit of short-term hydration, but at the risk of catching typhoid? Definitely, staying hydrated is paramount. With virtually no ammo left, we've at least cleared the garage out, and also there's some fuel down here. Knowing these two borderline drug addicts, I'm surprised they didn't start just sniffing the stuff. I find an old coffee shop and decide to break in by throwing a brick through the window. I remember back at school, this crazy guy said he would throw a brick through my window because I talked to a girl he liked. I was like, chill man, she's just a friend at my school, but he was really mad. He told me he'd kick my teeth in one by one, which was a pretty strange threat. Like, does he have tiny feet or just incredible kick accuracy? Anyway, he tried to befriend me in the end so he could get closer to her, and even once asked if I wanted to try crack with him and his borderline psychopath group of friends, but I was like, no thanks. I just unlocked ancient magic on RuneScape, so I'm going to PK in the wilderness with my clan. And then f your girl. We get the main gate open and prepare to have more fun-filled family adventures. I'm going to stop the video here as I obviously don't want to spoil anything major for anyone. I hope you enjoyed. This was actually my first PlayStation 4 game I've ever made a video on, which was cool for me. I hope all you legends are doing well. Thanks for watching, and a massive thanks to those who support the channel on Patreon. Until next time, and as always, stay classy.